Namaskar. I am grateful to all of you who have joined today to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi on the 77th Martyrs' Day, when he sacrificed his life for the cause of peace, brotherhood, and harmony on January 30th, 1948. It was unfortunate that an enduring symbol of nonviolence fell victim to violence. I thank the Indian Mission for hosting this tribute to honor Mahatma Gandhi and reflect on his profound thoughts and enduring legacy. It is always an emotional moment to remember Mahatma Gandhi on the day of his martyrdom. He was an apostle of universal peace. He is one of the most celebrated figures in the world. His philosophy of satyagraha and unwavering commitment to peace and justice continue to inspire individuals, movements, and nations across the globe. As we commemorate Martyrs' Day on January 30th, 2025, it is essential to explore the international perspective on Mahatma Gandhi and the profound influence he has had on humanity. Gandhiji's principles of nonviolence and civil disobedience have resonated far beyond India's borders. Leaders of global significance have drawn upon Gandhiji's teachings in their struggles for freedom and equality. Even after more than 7 decades have gone by since Mahatma Gandhi's passing, his relevance is as profound as ever, resonating across the globe. He stands as a beacon of not only political democracy, but also of economic and spiritual democracy, principles that hold deep relevance in today's world. In an era increasingly defined by polarization and violence, Gandhiji's teachings offer timeless wisdom. His concept of Sarvodaya, the welfare of all, provides a powerful framework for tackling pressing global challenges such as poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. Mahatma Gandhi's advocacy for sustainable living in harmony with nature and self reliance resonates with modern efforts to conserve the environment and adopt green technologies, making his vision as vital today as it was during his. Furthermore, Mahatma Gandhi's insistence on dialogue and understanding as a tool for conflict resolution has profoundly influenced modern peace building efforts. As we reflect on his life and contributions, it is crucial to recognize the enduring relevance of his messages for future generations. His belief in the power of individual action to drive societal change resonates strongly with today's youth, who are mobilizing around critical issues such as climate action, gender equality, and social justice. In academic institutions, Mahatma Gandhi's ideas are studied as part of disciplines such as political science, philosophy, and peace studies. Universities and research centers around the world and continue to explore the relevance of his principles in addressing modern challenges. Mahatma Gandhi's emphasis on moral courage and ethical leadership serves as an inspiring guide for young leaders striving to create a more equitable and peaceful world. In an increasingly interconnected yet divided global community, his vision of universal brotherhood and compassion provides a roadmap for building bridges across cultures and nations. His legacy reminds us that true strength lies not in the use of force, but in the courage to uphold truth and justice, even in the face of adversities. Today in the world, the emphasis is on human dignity and upholding the values of natural justice. There would be no better tribute to Mahatma Gandhi than to rededicate us towards the cause of peace, nonviolence, and mutual tolerance. Arnold Toynbee, the English historian, philosopher of history, and author of numerous books, famously said, and I quote, Mahatma Gandhi was the first person in human history to lift the ethic of love of Jesus Christ above mere interaction between individuals and make it into a powerful and effective social force on a large scale. If humanity is to progress, Gandhi is inescapable. Unquote. Gandhi showed the world that the love of one's people need not be inconsistent with the love of humanity. He strove to free the downtrodden from the shackles of injustice, slavery, and deprivation. But he was also obsessed with the future of the human race. He said, and I quote, "There is no hope for the aching world except through the narrow and straight path of nonviolence." He wrote, "Millions like me may fail to prove the truth in their own lives. That would be their failure, never of the eternal law." Unquote. Gandhiji was very fond of little children. He treated them as individuals and gave them respects as they deserved as human beings. I will tell you a small incident which happened during the 1931 Second Round Table Conference in London. Mahatma Gandhi had gone to London, and he chose to stay at Kingsley Hall among the poor rather than in luxurious accommodations. Fascinated by his simplicity, local children fondly nicknamed him Uncle Gandhi. They often asked questions about his simple lifestyle and enjoyed his company during walks. One incident involved a small girl who hesitated while asking Gandhi for his autograph. She drew back shyly before this modestly dressed man, clad in a simple dhoti and a roughly mended coarse shawl, with inexpensive wire-framed glasses. Looking up at her mother, she asked, "Mummy, is he really great?" Her mother replied, "You know, Mr. Gandhi is a very good man and a very great man." The child said, "I'm sorry, Mummy," quickly making amends. On his birthday on 2nd October, the children in London gifted him woolly toys, sweets, and candles, which he cherished deeply. When leaving London on December 5, 1931, Gandhi ensured these gifts were safe, saying, and I quote, "They are the only things I'm taking back to India." Unquote. Later, from Yerwada jail in India, he wrote to thank the children, humorously noting they'd received a letter from jail signing off as yours, whom you call Uncle Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi's greatness and indeed his uniqueness lies in his role as an innovator in politics. Far from being merely a political theorist or analyst, he loved humanity with profound compassion and, in his own words, I quote, "approached the poor with the mind of the poor." Unquote. His vision was to establish a new human order. He was the first in history to extend the principle of nonviolence from the individual to the societal and political spheres. Ever an optimist, ever calm, ever objective, he viewed the world with the eye of faith, always believing in the possibility of a better future. Dr. Gene Sharp, the American philosopher and the founder of the Albert Einstein Institution, drew much of his inspiration from the life and writings of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He wrote, and I quote, "Gandhi was the contemporary of Tsar Nicholas, Lenin and Stalin, Kaiser Wilhelm and Adolf Hitler, Franklin Roosevelt and Mao Zedong. He bridged the span between the time when armies fought the wars with rifles to the time when atom bombs confronted them. Racism ran rampant, and there was a denial of dignity and opportunities to women and untouchables and many others. These were among the social and political evils for which Mahatma Gandhi sought solutions." Unquote. Mahatma Gandhi was an ordinary person like us who rose to extraordinary heights through his unwavering determination, steadfast pursuit of truth, and commitment to the values he cherished. By realizing his true potential for sacrifice and endurance, he achieved remarkable greatness. Studying Gandhiji's life is a fascinating journey of inspiration, as he was one of us. Yet, his courage of conviction and the strength of his ideas he represented set him apart. Mahatma Gandhi's entire life story is about action to bring about positive changes. He both succeeded and failed in what he sought to do, but he always moved forward, and he never gave up the quest for improvement, both social and spiritual, and both for individuals as well as for the nation as a whole. Today, he is remembered not only as a political leader, but as a moralist who appealed to the universal conscience of mankind. There is a galaxy of men, women, and children in different parts of the world who have taken a leap from Mahatma Gandhi to fashion their initiatives for ensuring peace, nonviolence, justice, and fighting discrimination. This explains his lifelong crusade of attainment of moral values such as truthfulness, nonviolence, purity of means, love, self control, forgiveness, respect, friendliness, compassion, mercy, etc. His messages resound with people of all faiths worldwide, as he is the spiritual and political leader of one of the world's most profound and complex cultural traditions. Today, the world is faced with many kinds of conflicts and diverse types of crises. We see Mahatma Gandhi's emphasis on non-violence, universal brotherhood, and peaceful coexistence having an all-time relevance. In his 50 years of public life in three continents, Asia, Europe, and South Africa, Gandhiji demonstrated the efficacy of extending respect for all living beings. Human dignity, oneness, empathy are impossible without compassion. Gandhiji emerged as the voice of the voiceless that inspired social reformers and political thinkers all over the world. It was to his unique credit that in a world marred by violence and hatred, Gandhiji stands firm as a man of universal goodwill and a protagonist of peace. What is most striking is that Gandhiji emerged during his lifetime as a torchbearer of peace, and even today he continues to surprise mankind with his non-violent methods of resolving conflicts. What is stranger still is the resonance of success of his satyagraha that continues to inspire people across the globe. It goes without saying that it is never possible to evaluate how much India and the world owes to Mahatma Gandhi. For Gandhiji, peace was not an end by itself. Rather, it was only a sort of a means to ensure better welfare for mankind. Mahatma Gandhi's lifelong quest was in the pursuit of truth. In fact, he even had said, and I quote, truthfulness is more important than peacefulness, unquote. Non-cooperation was one of Gandhiji's methods for achieving justice. He had experimented with it in South Africa with a minuscule Indian community and later expanded the scope to cover the entire nation during the freedom struggle in India since 1915. Freedom and justice were supreme for Mahatma Gandhi. The Indian supreme values of ahimsa, nonviolence, and compassion were the basis of Gandhiji's philosophy. Practically, he desired solutions for all problems through the means of nonviolence and truth. His ideas based on nonviolence are entirely important in the new world. They are completely relevant today and will remain so in the future as well. He had said, and I quote, the very first step in nonviolence is that we cultivate in our daily life, as between ourselves, truthfulness, humility, tolerance, and loving kindness. Unquote. He demonstrated that peace and nonviolence are the two pillars of any peace process that upholds humanity. These two are inseparable. He said that for bringing full solutions to the means, cut 7. Mahatma Gandhi demonstrated that peace and nonviolence are the two pillars of any peace process that upholds humanity. These two are inseparable. He said that for bringing full solution, the means must be nonviolent action or protest to settle a dispute through satyagraha. Mahatma Gandhi was always touched by the pain of others. This ability to feel the pain of others led him to karuna or compassion. Compassion, coupled with daya or pity, led to the spirit of service or seva. Gandhiji's first and foremost inner calling was to alleviate the suffering of others. The greatest degree of inner tranquility came to Gandhiji from the development of love and compassion, non-attachment and non-possession. The more we care for the happiness of others, the greater our own sense of well-being becomes. Cultivating a close, warm-hearted feeling for others automatically puts the mind at ease. This helps remove whatever fears or insecurities we may have and gives us the strength to cope with any obstacles we encounter. It is the ultimate source of success in life. Gandhiji's example demonstrates that if we live in this world, we are bound to encounter challenges and problems. Even during any difficult circumstance, Gandhiji did not lose hope and become discouraged. He faced the challenges with the understanding that it was not just him who was undergoing difficulties, but everyone was undergoing suffering. This realistic perspective increased his determination and capacity to overcome troubles. Armed with this attitude, for him, each new obstacle became yet another valuable opportunity to improve and overcome challenges. Gandhiji rose beyond his personal sorrows and joys and shared the happiness and sorrows of people. He became more compassionate and developed both genuine sympathy for others' suffering and the will to help remove their pain. As a result, his serenity and inner strength increased, as did the resolve. He used to remain positive under all circumstances, and that was his main trait. He had faced many challenges in his life. The techniques he crafted, like Satyagraha and Sarvodaya, and the strategies he followed in his public life give us insights into how spirituality can be applied to improve human conditions in today's world. The applications are not India specific, but are universal. Gandhiji sought the guidance of his inner voice, not only in the spiritual realm, but also in the political realm. Gandhian humanism and its practical application are the way forward in the world. His noble spirit and warm, humane kindness have endeared him to all humanitarians throughout the world. Nowadays, our world has become so interdependent that any conflict between nations inevitably impacts the rest of the world. The only way to establish peace in the world is through nonviolence. We need to develop a sense of solidarity amongst ourselves by considering other human beings as our brothers and sisters, as part of one family. Gandhiji's ideas of nonviolence was to live and help others to live. Helping others to live with mutual respect should become the foundation of our life. He had said, and I quote, "When I despair, I remember that all through history, the ways of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it always." Unquote. In today's globalized world, we already have all the material comforts required for living contently. We are taught by the market forces to want more and more, even as we see the world around us engulfed in greed, violence, and intolerance. Today's world laments violence in the frequent attacks, riots, war, and imminent possibility of a nuclear war. But the last century was even more disastrous. In such a time, a frail leader, Mahatma Gandhi, was the most influential and important political leader and a thinker of the 20th century whose legacy still inspires people globally. In a world that is divided in the matters of faith and religion, that is shaping and determining the politics of this world in a barbaric way, Gandhiji brought in a novel path. He continued to lay importance on interfaith dialogue and cultivating understanding towards nonviolent, compassionate, and emancipatory aspects of their own religion. He inspires globally as the first environmentalist and a minimalist. He recognized the need for conservation and preservation way before the dangers of climate change had preoccupied the world. He had pointed out, and I quote, "The earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed." Unquote. He had said that life should be need based, not greed based. He was a thinker who clearly realized the reality of overuse, abuse, and misuse of the global commons. He lived out his environmental philosophy in his own life. He is a man who compulsorily reused and recycled everything and lived in harmony with nature. He lived a life of openness and transparency. His ashram was accessible to everyone. Anyone could walk in and debate and argue with him. Mahatma Gandhi had a profound influence on Dr. Albert Einstein. He and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi shared a great respect for each other and exchanged letters frequently. Dr. Einstein's message on Gandhiji's 75th birthday sums up the essential character of Gandhiji's leadership. He said, and I quote, "A leader of his people, unsupported by an outward authority, a victorious fighter who always scorned the use of force, a man of wisdom and humility, who has confronted the brutality of Europe with the dignity of the simple human being, and at all times risen superior. Unquote. Gandhiji had realized early in his life the importance of humanity, love, and kindness to other living beings and acted upon it. He kept humanity in high regard, which gave a deep meaning to his life. Throughout his life, Gandhiji was a humble servant of India and of humanity. And he said, and I quote, I believe in absolute oneness of God and therefore also of humanity. What though we have many bodies? We have but one soul. The rays of the sun are many through refraction, but they have the same source. It comprehends the whole of humanity. Its realization would thus mean the establishment of the kingdom of heaven on earth. Unquote. He gave his last interview to Margaret Burke White, an American photographer, in the early afternoon on 30th January 1948, and it was to be his last message of compassion to mankind, in which he told her that nonviolence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapons of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man. Gandhiji had further said, I do not believe in shortcuts which involve violence. However much I sympathize with and admire worthy motives, I am an uncompromising opponent of violent methods, even to serve the noblest causes. There is therefore really no meeting ground between the school of violence and myself. Unquote. The heart that bled at the sight of the misery of others was bled to death on 30th January 1948, with the three death-dealing slugs buried deep in it. India lost her soul, but her spirit lives, and that spirit will continue to live among us as it carries in its chapters the mild but unassailable truth that peace is a positive force and that it can still move the human race away from darkness towards light. Mahatma Gandhi had declared, and I quote, Am I going to be silenced after my death? I will proclaim my faith even in death and speak from the grave. Unquote. What was this faith that he wanted to proclaim from the grave? It was faith in truth, that was God. It was faith in the goodness of all, as all are capable of truth. It was faith in the goodness of mankind. It was faith that despite the falls and upheavals, humanity would move towards goodness. Because truth, that is God, is only interested in the welfare of its creation. I once again take this opportunity to thank the Indian Mission for remembering Mahatma Gandhi on this Martyrs' Day. My special thanks are to all of you who have joined me online. Namaskar.